Are you tired of getting braids and having them in for like 2 weeks, and then after that they just look frizzy, dry, and just busted? Are you tired of getting your hair braided and it looking great initially, but then eventually it just looks lifeless? If your braids look anything like this, or even like this, then I'm here to help. In this video, I'm gonna be teaching you how to moisturize dry braids so that you can go from looking like this to looking like this. Because I already know you're gonna enjoy the video, leave this video a like. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. If you care anything about your hair, which I know you do, then this is definitely the channel for you. So subscribe with the bell icon so that you can stay notified on whenever I drop some more amazing hair content. Now let's go ahead and get straight into it so that we can get you looking like this. All right, so let's dive straight into it. You're going to need a hair oil. You can use any different hair oil, whatever works best for you. If you don't really know what to use, here's a couple honorable mentions. Alikay's essential hair oil is great, as well as, of course, Wild Growth. If you don't already have a really good oil to use, I'll leave the link to both of those in the description below. But today we're actually going to be using our own. This is avocado oil mixed with rosemary and clove oil. The reason that you want to use an oil instead of anything else is because using an oil is going to help your braids to stay nice and neat instead of using a conditioner or adding water or moisturizing your hair with anything else. So not only is it a super easy way to keep your braids moisturized, it's also a super easy way to keep your scalp moisturized. So that's why I highly recommend using an oil, which is what we're going to be using today. You want to shake your oil well, and then you're going to apply your oil directly to each individual part of your hair. So any section of your hair that you can actually see your scalp, that you can see the braid actually going into, you want to apply oil directly there. This should be fairly easy to do with cornrows since there's less individual parts, unlike plaits or like individual braids. So any of those free parted sections of your hair, you're gonna apply it. You can see me applying it directly to the side there. And you wanna be very light with your oil. You do not wanna go above and beyond. You don't wanna use way too much and drown your scalp in oil. Please do not drown your scalp. You really do not need very much oil. Oil is very easy to spread across your hair and to spread across your scalp. So please use a very light amount because you're just gonna be sectioning that into each braid here in just a second. Notice how I'm taking my time and trying my best to get an even spread and get it evenly distributed across my entire scalp here. I'm even hitting the very bottom of the braids here. So you don't want to miss any section here. You don't want to miss any part. You want to cover your full head and make sure that you get it as even as you possibly can. I highly also recommend getting like a small handheld mirror. It makes it really easy to see across the back of your head. If you can't do it on your own, you can get somebody else to put the oil in your hair for you as well. All right, now we're coming to the very end here on our last part, making sure to get the oil directly under the braid as well. And now we're actually gonna work the oil into your actual scalp braids now. So what I like to first do is I like to take my finger and just run it one time across my actual part all the way down. I'm gonna do that in every single part. And then after that, I'm actually gonna work the oil into my actual braids. So you can see me doing it here, just with your pinky, no other finger but your pinky, very light pressure. You don't have to do too much here. You wanna make sure to be gentle because you are trying to keep your hair neat. If you do too much and you just drown your hair in oil and you just really keep manipulating and touching your braids, it's not gonna stay neat. The focus here is we want to keep it as neat and as tidy as possible. So I highly recommend just using your pinky, using a light amount of pressure, and just slowly and slightly working that oil into the actual braid. Your hair is really good at absorbing moisture, so it's actually going to suck it up and bring that oil directly underneath the braid as well. So after you do one braid, you're just gonna do the same thing to all the rest of the braids. Note that this routine can be done at any time, whether it's morning, whether it's night. I'm actually heading to bed right after this, so I'm gonna just throw a do-rag on and then go straight to bed. How often you wanna do this is completely up to your hair's needs. So for me, I find myself doing this once a week while I have braids. You really don't have to do it too often. If you have drier hair, you can do it more frequently. If not, you can do it less frequently. It's completely up to your hair's needs. Be sure to get the area at the very start of the braid. A lot of people tend to forget it at the very end, at the very start. Make sure you hit that as well. This is a great time to remind you guys to subscribe. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and leave this video a like as well. Now you're just gonna take a little bit more oil. You're gonna actually put it in your hands. You're gonna rub your hands together now. You're gonna make sure to get the oil across the very tips of your fingers as well. And now you're actually gonna work the oil into your braid. So not just the parts, not just your scalp, your actual braid. So what we're doing here is very lightly applying a little bit of pressure. So you're squeezing the braid slightly. So by squeezing it, when you release, it's going to absorb some of that oil, and that's our focus here. So we're not touching our braids. We're not constantly or like taking our hands and running our hands through our braid. We're just lightly patting, lightly squeezing, and allowing the braid to actually absorb some oil and some moisture. So this is a very, very, very good way to moisturize your hair and not just have your hair looking down bad and dry, and to keep your hair neat and tidy and looking, you know, just fresh. Something that you definitely don't want to forget while you're moisturizing your actual braids is you want to make sure you give a little bit of extra love to the ends of your hair, as they are usually the problem points for hair. So you want to give just a little bit more love, a little bit more oil to the very end of your hair, as it tends to be very dry. All right, same thing. So instead of the back of our actual braid, we're doing the front of our actual braid. Lightly just patting, squeezing lightly, letting that oil be absorbed. If you need to apply a little bit more oil, you need to put a little bit more oil in your hand, feel free to. Just please do not overdo it. You want to moisturize your braid, but you don't want to drown your braid. That's a mistake that I see a lot of people make. So be sure that you're not getting too much oil. And you can see just how put together and just how neat your braids stay during this process, because of the fact that we're not manipulating it very much at all. We're leaving it in its normal form, in its normal braided form, just like how when you originally got your braids done, how it looked. We're trying to keep it similar to that. All right, now we're coming to the very end. That's basically the entire tutorial. You can do this at any time, night, day, the middle of the day, whenever you feel like your hair is dry or needs a little refresh, a little oil, a little moisture. You're gonna go ahead and do this process. I'm gonna go ahead and put my do-rag on, and I'm heading to bed for the day. But again, you can do this at any given time, as often as you want. On average, I'd say once a week. But yeah, that's the entire tutorial. If you're new to the channel, again, go ahead and subscribe and turn on post notifications. I make hair content, so if you care for your hair, this is the channel for you. If you enjoyed the video, leave the video a like. But yeah, that's all the time that I have for you guys today. I'm Kozak, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.